Welcome to the Pace Studios in New York City. We are here today with our friends, the Drums. Guys, thanks for coming in and being with us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Glad to be here.
It's great to have you. It's a hot day in the city. I hope you're enjoying our nice temperature-controlled vault of music.
Yes, it's very nice. I was surprised when I came in here. You guys must be doing really great.
Oh yeah,
There's so much space and.
Oh, I mean, we're kings up here on the fifth
luxurious.
floor of a nondescript office building here in Midtown Manhattan.
I'm impressed, to be honest. So.
Well, we'll take a look around a little later and maybe work out some covers for next time.
A little tour.
For right now, you guys got a record coming out Friday called Abysmal Thoughts.
Yes.
Your fourth album, and we're really excited to hear you do some songs from it today. So you can tell us about the first song you're going to do for us from the record?
Sure. The first song is based off of a time where I was in Miami, Florida. This was 2 years back. I'd just gone through separation. I was married, and I was in this dark place. And I saw this cute guy. We started hanging out. And I don't know, I got a little overzealous maybe. And just like, thought I was in love and, that whole thing. And he kind of treated me poorly, I think, in retrospect. But I was putting a lot of pressure on him, too. So that whole time of my life was pretty weird, and I don't know who's to blame. It's probably me. At the end of the day, it's usually me. So anyway, this is a song about that experience. It's called Heart Basel.
Great.
Oh, I feel the ocean in my head. Oh, the pressure's rising and my heart keeps speeding. And don't you feel the tension crawling up your chest? Oh, it's do or die, kid, how it's always been. Tropical weather, it must have softened your heart. And now we're back on the streets in California, where the air is dry and your heart is closing up in plain sight. For me, you tell me to have confidence. I question your love for me, 'cause baby, you don't make no sense. Ooh.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank
That
you.
sounds great. I love the two guitar format. Is one that I'm not as much familiar with you guys. Last time I think I saw you, I mean, obviously bands do a bit of a different format here a lot at our studio. But I was wondering, for this record, I know this is one that you made more on your own than past drums records.
Yeah.
And you're without your partner from the founding of the band, Jacob.
Yes.
And so I think I also read maybe that you left New York for a time to make this record, or at least into the making of the record, to go to L.A.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about all these things as like, are these challenges that really bring out your best art, or, how did you get from your last record, 2014, to this one now?
Yeah. Well, it's sort of the artist curse, I guess, or at least in my case. I've actually just started calling myself an artist, which is really strange. I'd never referred to myself as an artist until I started dating this guy who I'm dating now. Is lovely, and he's like, "No, you're an artist." And I was like, "No, I make music and songs and stuff." "No, you're an artist. Like, you should own that." So I'm trying to own that I'm an artist. It's like a new thing for me. I always thought, I don't know, Picasso or whatever, but I'm not an artist, but I am. So I kind of learned that about myself and kind of took ownership of that, just as just at the right time where I was starting this record. Jacob emailed me and said, "I've got to go. I have other passions. This isn't making me so happy. You got this." And and I felt about 30 seconds of pure terror, and then right after that, I just kind of felt almost excited, and it was almost thrilling, this idea that I would have only myself to represent, and actually part of like why we're doing two electric guitars often. It's sort of a throwback for me that I'm sort of bringing back. It's what I'm comfortable with. When I started the band, I'd never played guitar before. I'd collected analog synthesizers. I was a big synth freak.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, the first couple songs I ever wrote for the drums, there's a song called "Best Friend" on the first record. I had fully formed versions of those that were just made from analog synthesizers. That's all I had. I was in Florida making these songs, and Jacob's little brother had a off-brand crap guitar sitting in the corner, out of tune, and I just picked it up and I said, this synth stuff's feeling a little stale for me. I don't know, maybe I'll just play this, So there's not really any chords on any of the records that the drums have ever put out, and it's because I play guitar like I play a monosynth, an old monosynth, which is one note at a time.
One note by note, right?
Yeah, that's kind of all I knew, and I didn't know chords anyway. So I just kind of like layered this stuff all together, and so that's how Let's Go Surfing, it's all one note. And then, so that kind of formed the sound, just like not knowing what you're doing, happy accidents,
Yeah.
And then it sort of sounds virginal and fresh and interesting. And so it just kind of like went with it. And so this is sort of like, it feels like a second debut for me. And so I'm bringing in some old elements while trying to bring in some new stuff. But definitely all that hardship was really, I hate to say it, it's really what I needed, I think, to write a record like this. And I know my last record is kind of like our weird record, Encyclopedia. I like when bands have a weird record where they're like, that was strange. Like, okay, I like it. It's weird. And I think it's because it was at a time in my life where I was married. I was fostering dogs. I just bought a house upstate. I was like, for the first time in my life, feeling grounded. I was like, this is what real people feel like. I'm a real person now. And all of it was it was like held together by Scotch tape, essentially, and it was so hollow when I look back at it, but it was the closest thing that I had to feeling normal. And so I kind of really held on to it, again, like pushing too hard to try to make it a thing. And so when it did fall apart, it was just like I was primed for writing an album. And I think if Jacob would have stuck around, I sort of writing it with one hand behind my back, So this really gave me the freedom to write Abysmal Thoughts. So.
And so, in terms, I guess it makes it sort of like a self-portrait in a way, more than maybe other drums records have been.
Yeah, just it's kind of perfect, the timing in my life personally, to feel free to just be myself. I mean, honestly, like when the band first started, I was out of the closet, openly gay in my circle of friends, my like personal life. But I remember, I think the Times asked me point blank in an interview once, "Are you gay? Or is anyone in the band gay?" And my face turned red, and I was just
I'm going to cross
sweating.
that question off of my notebook here.
Yes, okay, good. I know I talk a lot. I kind of happens all the time. Journalists are like, "Well, I don't have any other questions. You blew through them all." But,
mine are done now.
Yeah.
So why don't you just tell us about the next song you're gonna play for us here?
Okay, cool. The next song is actually about hardship. Surprise, surprise. This one though is it's the most I think detail oriented I ever got as far as being autobiographical and personal. It's I grew up in a town called Horseheads, New York, upstate, about a 5-hour drive. It was a neighboring town to Elmira, which has a big prison. I think that's what it's most famous for, and there's not a lot of good that comes out of that town. But and gay people run like hell from that town. So this is a song about my childhood there. It's called Head of the Horse.
Right.
Shrink-wrap magazines in a paper bag. He hugged me when I came home. Only boy in the ballet class. He hugged me when I came home. Dad's on the puppet talking about love. Mom's in the nursery cussing me out. Jean was crazy, but she loved me. When she died, I slept in her car. Here I go again. All these memories coming back at me. Here I go again. All these memories get the best of me. Get the best of me. Have a headache, will bring the oil. If you complain, well, that's the devil talking. He hugged me when I came home. Your sister got married 14 times, but if you fall in love, son, that's a crime. Well, I fell in love and I told him I was happy. My dad hugged me and said this would be the last hug. Here I go again. All these memories coming back at me. Here I go again. All these memories get the best of me. Get the best of me. Philip took me out for pizza in London. He said they were his friends and they were mine. Philip took me for a walk in New York City. He told me my story was boring. He told me my story was boring. And here I go again. All these memories coming back at me. get the best of me. They get the best of me. They get the best of me. They get the best of me. Oh, they get the best of me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
So in talking about the record, we were talking about how it's sort of a more reflective piece for you. And so a simple question I have is, how did you arrive at this title? What are abysmal thoughts in your world?
Oh, I've realized that abysmal isn't really such an international word. When I do international press, people just have no idea what it means. They have to look it up, and they're still confused about it. Didn't know that. Would have been nice to know before I named it.
A good thing it probably doesn't mean anything like vulgar in
like
Japanese or something.
Let's hope not.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. I mean, it might be fitting for this record. Yeah. It was just this overwhelming sense that I had when I was making this album that, I think that I didn't, this is going to sound really dramatic, but I just didn't see a point to a lot. I didn't really see a point to, like what, it's like these stupid existential questions. Why am I here? What is this really about? If that didn't make me happy, what's going to make me happy? Do I have the courage to step into this world again? And so I was really just in this sort of like bubble that I had sort of accidentally created for myself, and it was really scary to the idea of leaving that, venturing out, trying again. When I started this record, I didn't even have a label. I was just like, is my career over? Like my marriage is over. Jacob left. These things were just make me feel pretty crazy, so that was abysmal, that was tough. That was really tough. And the icing on the rotted cake is I was living in Los Angeles, no offense to LA, but it wasn't a city that I knew. I've been here for a decade. I love New York City. I get it. I think it gets me. It's frantic like I am. And so I'm here in this new city that I moved to try to save my marriage. And, of course, our problems got on the next flight and followed us there and unpacked. And so, I just felt like a failure on a lot of, on a lot of different levels. Right. So, but so that's abysmal. That was the word for me. That kind of. It just popped into my head, and it felt really fitting. I remember calling my manager saying, we got the name, Abysmal Thoughts, and that was it. There wasn't any...
Right, there was no, no one knows what that means in Norway.
No, he got it, too.
Okay.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe those people in Norway, they could learn a little something.
Now they'll know, right?
Now they'll know.
Yeah, this is abysmal. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
So tell us about the last
When you
song.
look up abysmal in the dictionary, you just see my face.
Yeah, that's right. It's the drums. So what's the third and final song for us here today?
The last song is the first single off Abysmal Thoughts. It is a song. It's a letter of sort of concern to my former partner, and also of kind of saying I'm sorry. Every record I've ever put out, I'm sort of pointing the finger outwards. You broke my heart. You abandoned me. You left me. Why would you do this? Like, well, you lied. What? And so now it's. This is the record where I'm looking inward and saying, well, maybe there's a reason for all of this, and sometimes it really starts inside, and so yeah, I'm doing all that kind of stuff. It's like It's new, and it's exciting. It's scary. But so the song is called "Blood Under My Belt."
Great.
What does it take for you to believe that I have changed? I know very well that I have blood under my belt. And yes, it's true that I hurt you, but I still love you. I love you, I still do. And what did I say to make you want to run away? I know very well that I have blood under my belt. And yes, it's true that I hurt you, but I still love you. I love you, I still do. But you won't believe me. I see death coming at me too quickly. I don't want this to end. I take an apple from the tree we planted together. I hold it in my hand. I know what's a change, but please don't change. I know what's to do it, but don't do it, don't do it. What does it take for you to believe that I have changed? I know very well that I have blood under my belt. And yes, it's true that I hurt you, but I still love you. I love you, I still do. I am scared of the child that lives in me. I don't know if he learns. You left your t-shirt under the bed we shared together. I put it over my face. I know what's a change, but please don't change. I know what's to do it, but don't do it, don't do it. What does it take for you to believe that I have changed? I know very well that I have blood under my belt. And yes, it's true that I hurt you, but I still love you. I love you, I still do. And what did I say to make you want to run away? I know very well that I have blood under my belt. And yes, it's true that I hurt you, but I still love you. I love you, I still do. But you won't believe me. What does it take? Thank you.
Thank you. So, album is out. Abysmal Thoughts is out this Friday on Anti.
Yes.
And I think you guys got some West Coast dates coming up, but you're coming back to New York, I think maybe in the fall. Is that right?
Yeah, in November we're playing Brooklyn Steel.
Ah, the all-new Brooklyn Steel.
The all-new Brooklyn Steel, yeah. I wonder if it's made of steel.
I don't think so. I don't know.
It's definitely in Brooklyn. We know
It is,
that.
yeah. The first part is right.
Yes.
So, Johnny, thank you so much for coming by our studio and playing for us today.
Thank you.
And come on by anytime.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And I appreciate this magazine, and I have for years. So
Well,
it
we
means a lot
appreciate
to
that.
be asked. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.